This program seeks to make churches, community activism, and social justice efforts as normative in its functioning and its framework as that of its liturgy and doctrinal beliefs. This program seeks to prove to be an exceptional model for small and large congregations and how they may be able to provide routine and normal assistance for men who have faced or are facing criminal recidivism, homelessness, or alcohol and substance abuse. We should not, even cannot, afford to no longer ignore or overlook the emphasis on the historical relationship between the Black church tradition and ethics. The public theology and public faith expression of the Black church was once explicit and apparent through ethical leadership. The current conflict in ethical leadership exists in institutions of all kinds, and that conflict is righteousness, piety, success, morality, and consciousness have been placed above social and political expediency. No longer will we continue to adhere to the emphasis of religious literacy without legal literacy and social service. This program seeks to recapture that type of witness through Sankofa by rescuing our youth from this current pandemic and terror that is social injustice. Though in the contemporary world, justice has been used as a synonym for law and lawfulness, the term and concept has a much more comprehensive sense that relates closer to the term fairness. This thought alone indicates that the practice and perception of justice has been convoluted in such a way that tremendously affects the subjects of justice and the objects of justice, the oppressor and the oppressed. It is not ironic that various conceptions of justice in Western civilization place the concept in dependence of a legal system, that being natural or artificial. This also happens to be the perspective of the elitists and exceptionalists, while egalitarianists believe that justice can exist only within the parameters of equality for all people. The philosophical understanding of justice as it relates to theology must be premised on the ethical and not the legal, the spiritual and not the secular. Social transformation does require policy and politics, but participants of this program believe that the transformative work that needs to be done must be a spiritual effort which innately brings a shift in consciousness. That which goes against the natural order and or understanding of the moral has been vindicated in America legally. Racism, despite its prejudice and bigotry, was a merited ideology by the U.S. government that included merited practices that attached itself to the legitimacy and sustenance of a given power and the tyranny and enslavement of a given people. The oppression, evil, and injustice done to the Black body and Black mind has been and continues to be justified by the government and for the government more times than not. The READY program will consist of 3 phases, each designed and tailored to effectively respond to the social, educational, spiritual, and economic realities of African American males ages 15 to 21. The first phase will be a component of self-cultural, academic, and personal awareness and assessments. This will include intrapersonal work and story linking work. The second phase will deal with critical thinking, career development, legal literacy, resource literacy, financial literacy, leadership development. The third phase will deal with experiential learning and portfolio development, as in community relation building. Ready will have a 5-point focus in its assessment to develop and assess teamwork skills and promote positive friendships and collaborative efforts, to develop and assess social interaction and interpersonal skills, to establish and plan educational and vocational pursuits, to become involved in vital public and social issues of the day, and lastly, to attend and participate in seminars, workshops, and sessions designed to enhance career choices, financial literacy, religious literacy, resource literacy, legal literacy, to encourage academic achievement, and to exhibit moral and social growth and responsibility. In conclusion, considering the constructs that are embedded in our societies and the laws and studies that seek to sanction these constructs, one must intensively and carefully examine, discern, and decide their theological theories, biblical interpretations, communal concerns, and pastoral practices. The challenge of ministry, more so ministry for the pursuit of liberation and salvation, is not the realization of one's aims in ministry, but the innate risk involved with actualizing those goals. This social justice pandemic is highly illustrative of the risky business that is ministry. I would add that effective ministry is often punished and not rewarded. Keep that in mind. Effective ministry is often punished and not rewarded. Sounds like the cross of Jesus Christ. When oppression and injustice is natural to deemed and desired order, and then legally sanctioned in societies, theological notions need be resisted. Ethics must become confrontational and countercultural, and therefore unethical. Biblical hermeneutics must become counter-narratives to dominant interpretations, and pastoral care must even become illegal in order to transcend these realities. Grace and peace unto you all.